Family, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever on a day. And welcome to the program. When a special broadcast today, this Friday, now the then and now media empire with the broadcast live on Facebook. Me now na host and presenter, Mohamed Kamara, popularly known as Supermed. And today na Friday, the 24th of September, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll all begin share the program immediately. Immediately, like as I say, I get guests them who they can join me anytime soon, and the one don't join me already. When Mr. Prince Emil Koma, one of the CEO and founder of this particular platform, they join me because we get a very interesting conversation today, ladies and gentlemen. Very interesting conversation. So our will begin share the program immediately, so that we will get plenty people we'll be able to watch this program live from the then and now media empire. Today, inside the program, they can look at that statement where President Bio, President Sierra Leone make in relation to almost amount of money where in free education they don't introduce na salon, they save the average family for one pikin. A claim say, if you get one pikin right now because of the free education, it will save you $500 United States. So, ladies and gentlemen, like what they say, let's begin shape the program. Please, we will endeavor, we'll try our utmost best. Let we come with the video. Let us say, watch them live and see them. Let me look at if I can play the video right now. Even I don't know. I'm allowed to look if we will play the video. If I see the video, they play the video right now. Let us begin see them. Let me look. Ladies and gentlemen, if you bear with me small, I did try for look for the video. Let I play them on ourselves. Why is this video not coming up?
So what we can do, why do they make an I can play the audio in the background until you probably find a way for play the video, or if you find a way for make me a co-host, maybe a host, like we say that 3 dots then at the side. I don't know, I can put my video on, you see the frame, and if you see the 3 button, you can click on them. The 3 button just then at the left-hand corner.
The left-hand corner, let me...
Yeah, top left-hand corner.
Let me try and exit this first.
So you see the 3 button?
Now the 3 buttons.
Yeah, the 3 dots them. If I then at the frame. Let's maybe see you on. Maybe see you on. So me say I dey see me on back.
From me on, I will able to choose maybe for. No, it's not giving me the.
It for be me, not you. So now my own button, then there you go come. But at the same time, while you do that, let's see if I able play the audio. We'll go try and see whether we're able to play the video as well. Okay. It's very important that we play this video so people can see for themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, our patience we would play this video.
Yeah, somehow, one way or the other, we have to. Okay. So, like I say, we will try play the audio in the meantime.
You have the floor, sir. Welcome.
General Assembly,
Mr. Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank the Secretary General for convening this second SDG moment to highlight inspiring SDG actions despite continuing COVID-19 pandemic. The unprecedented challenges of COVID-19 have further exposed nations to heightened vulnerabilities and to rethink delivery on SDGs. Mr. Secretary General, Sierra Leone's medium-term national development plan is our nationally owned roadmap for building a society that is cohesive, secure, and just. It is aligned with the African Union Agenda 2063 and the global SDGs. It prioritizes human capital development, and we have identified SDG 4, quality education, and SDG 16.
Mr. Prince, I think I've made your co-host.
Strong institutions as our accelerator goals.
Look at it. I think today we will play
those goals remain pivotal.
Let me see if co-host will work.
Of our country, and my government remains fully committed to their implementation. Our commitment to deliver on SDG 4 is demonstrated in the increased budgetary allocations to education and inclusive access to quality education in line with our policy on radical inclusion, policy reforms, and infrastructure and other developments to support education. In spite of COVID-19, school enrollments have increased. There are higher student success and comprehensive safety indicators. Families are saving in excess of $500 a year per student, and completion and retention rates are also up. On SDG 16, my government is operationalizing the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion. There is expanded nationwide access to justice, and the Legal Board Aid continues to provide free legal representation to unserved Sierra Leoneans with a 93% increase.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for I just make sure say
the
video live.
Work on strengthening governance, deepening the decentralization, in domestic resource mobilization through our integrated national finance framework. We are using science, technology, and innovation to simplify governance,
the video actually.
Management, and procurement systems. Mr. Secretary General, let me conclude by reiterating the call for partnerships and cooperation to deliver on SDGs in order to achieve the future we want and to ensure that no one is left behind. Thank you.
We thank the President of Sierra Leone for his intervention, and we now proceed to pre-recorded statements from the President.
You have the floor, sir. Welcome.
Zimbabwe. Take a look.
General Assembly, Mr. Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank the Secretary General for convening this second SDG moment to highlight inspiring SDG actions despite continuing COVID-19 pandemic. The unprecedented challenges of COVID-19 have further exposed nations to heightened vulnerabilities and to rethink delivery on SDGs. Mr. Secretary General, Sierra Leone's medium-term national development plan is our nationally owned roadmap for building a society that is cohesive, secure, and just. It is aligned with the African Union Agenda 2063 and the global SDGs. It prioritizes human capital development, and we have identified SDG 4, quality education, and SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions, as our accelerator goals. Those goals remain pivotal to the transformation of our country, and my government remains fully committed to their implementation. Our commitment to deliver on SDG 4 is demonstrated in the increased budgetary allocations to education, free and inclusive access to quality education in line with our policy on radical inclusion, policy reforms, and infrastructure and other developments to support education. In spite of COVID-19, school enrollments have increased. There are higher student success and comprehensive safety indicators. Families are saving in excess of $500 a year per student, and completion and retention rates are also up. On
Okay. Famulem, I want to welcome you again to the platform, the Den and Army, the Empire, and I'll get me co-host and when I'm young guest, when I'm Mr. Prince Emil Komawo there with me. When I don't watch the video, maybe some people then go talk, say, oh no, not to say, this now the SDG session when they go attend, when they make this statement, when they see President Bio himself now in the talk, he highlights SDG number 4, when about quality education. He say in government, they save the average Sierra Leonean for get one picking at school, one picking per year, $500 United States dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leonean, that particular statement, it worries we so much. We were a patriotic and progressive Sierra Leoneans them. And we in this platform, the then and now media empire, the hub of the conversation. So we invite you now to call in. The number and they will go display very soon. 0+44 079 77568. Now one part the number then. And I go come and call the number them slowly as we move along. But it's very important for now get called from all Sierra Leoneans them worldwide. So that means the president, they tell we say, if you get 2 picking at school, you the average Sierra Leonean, it will save you 1,000 United States dollars. But again, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind you now, during the campaign, during the presidency, according to their own manifesto, then tell we say the free and quality education, they measure by units. One student, even if they provide books, they provide uniform, and the free school fee, one student will cost them 51 United States dollars. But then I think it was budgeted about 380,000 leons. So with all the provision they already set. So how on earth the president is telling us to say, because of the free quality education, any average family in a salon will save 500 United States dollars. Does it mean say each of the students name for go school for the one whole year, the school fee they cost 500 United States dollars? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue to play that video over and over when the time will come. But we want make una self opine, make it not be saying that from where they come up from. Because I believe say most of una Sierra Leoneans, whether in the diaspora and back in Sierra Leone, una know what's in the education cost that country today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want pass this first to my co-host, Mr. Prince Emil Koma. Maybe you say go address the opening statements before we get Salon Cashboko, they can join me very soon and we welcome them. But while Mr. Prince Emil Koma opine a little bit before we play the video again and ask Mr. Salon Cashbox, let you opine because I know the resident economists in this country and I mean the diaspora. So anyway, we'll explain to we let we understand by what maybe we don't understand what's in a dollar. Sometimes we're confused. Mr. Prince Emil Koma, over to you, sir. We just want to let you say most for this opening statement.
Yeah, Mr. Mohamed Kamara, many thanks for the opener. And want to apologize to Fambulem because of some technical problems then where we inquire. before we finally pull them through for continue. So massive apologies. And we know say people may not express interest in the program, and program of that kind there. Once you miss the timing, it does have some kind of an effect. But because the issue at what we discuss now is so serious, I believe say people then go come back again for can listen, and we ask people then for contribute. So it's obvious that me not to economists, but some economic talk then they way now simple, economics. 1 + 1 we know say is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. If you not match up, then a tautology, then a bunkers or bunkum, if you want to call it that way. And this is what it appear like be. But I'm a bit taken aback. And since this thing happened, I don't try for figure out, because this is just me, for see what was the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone really trying to say. I really don't, scatter me and put them back and try for figure that out. What in the president really try for say? The issue here at hand, I know say like a cash box, we don't broke this thing down because it can go to the minute detail, which is very good. But to some other degree, you find out say that you not even need for go to that minute detail there, because you can just do the top of them and just try for figure them out yourself. How many Pekin and they go school in the country? Almost one average person they spend per Pekin per year, be it elementary school or primary school or even secondary school. Waiting at the total way they spend on school fee per year per student. For let the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone make that kind of statement and they at such a gathering. This should concern every one of us, because the statement by every stretch, every imagination of the language, just the language alone, the artful language of English, it don't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense. Before I say you put the figure, the way sort of look scientific, like I say 2 + 2, now 4. If you fall short or a day above that number, then something wrong there, your brain need for be examined. And this is what it is. Students, then they spend that kind of money, they pay one student in a year time for let you able for save as per a student, $500. And like I say, I don't crack me inside out. I just can't figure this out. But waiting people like we can do now for Rob Motpan and talk there, because it concerns every one of us. We know say we get people on the other side, where their own business now for confuse Sierra Leonean people, even though things can be so obvious. Now for just come and can't confuse me. But I can tell them, I can assure them, say, these things are not passing, just like that any longer, bruh. Not anymore. Because people are wising up. When you continue for take people and say like they're a fool, people then one day go show you, say, because they may have the last laugh, like the biggest talk way take place in the country this last 72, 96 hours, Munku. The Munku then bang and then they make noise and accuse the one that we get sense past them of being the Munku. Yeah. So some of them, we go see them and understand them. When they say Munku, the epitome of Munku, naina them. And one other thing where the ex-president say, or what it mean as per me understanding, is these people, they practice Munku politics. They not say the people they Munku. They say the act where they do naina Munku. Then the people they wait for vex, no vex. Now other people they wait not to their business, now then told by a case. But you can understand the level of propaganda. But coming back to waiting the president say one final word before I sit back to you is, this is disgraceful, unacceptable, and disgusting. And the reason why I say so, it's not even a domestic audience, fellow. It's international audience, and you can't make yourself a fool more than you did. Because the people the way you speak to, now people the way get the figures, now people the way get the data, the analysis, the statistics, they know what is going on. So for you for come, here and can't him up there and begin saying anything and they with a straight face on an international platform, that should concern you, that should concern Cashbox, me, and every Sierra Leonean. That should be of concern. Because if you know they say the right thing to people, it does reflect on every one of us. This is why we all should have opinion, and then opinion day should be honestly informed of the facts, which is, in the end, parents are not saving $500 per child annually as a consequence of free education. It's a no, no, no.
Okay, thank you very much for that submission, Mr. Prince Emil Koma. I believe you church, you had an holistic approach to this particular topic. But the Cashbox, what's the president guy for talk again? He say the average Sierra Leonean. But many people are baffled because $500 is about 6 million. Some people they don't reach out to Sierra Leone. They say them even the annual income as a family, then the average Sierra Leonean name Then they even make that money they. Most of them get them the petty traders them. Then capital no past 2-3 million. So they don't even make that money, let alone
Ned, if I can pause you there, I think say we'll get a caller. You wanna bear with me. Caller, quickly, if you can just identify yourself and where you call from, please.
Hello, good evening. I'm Alaji Kaloko. I call from the Gambia.
Wow, the Gambia. Okay. Well, what you get for say to this topic of President Bio can a foreign country before foreign dignitary them is say then parents then as Sierra Leone as a consequence of a free education, then they say $500 per a child every year annually. What you get for say to that, please?
That's a very, very good initiative. Yes, I'm very glad for that, because if they don't come up with this free education, we'll make the parents and able to say $500 for every year. That's a very good initiative.
Okay, so but if people and they make $500, okay, sorry, you get something for Ade, sorry.
No, I just for talking about it. It's a very good initiative that where the parents are able to say $500 every year.
Okay.
Before we know to be free education, parents they pay a lot of money for school fees, all that bills them.
Okay. Here's the point, Mr. Kaloko. Of course, it is a good initiative if people and they save money and then kind money then they. But do you really think say that money then they are available? I'm sure say you go school and free tongue, maybe that would have been some time ago. But right now, you get any idea how much students then they pay for one school year? And if you get idea how much then they pay for one school year, do you think because of the free education, then they're able to save $500, or do you think they pay $500 for the education anyway?
Personally, I'm not getting idea of that. How much one picking they pay for school fees or any other thing.
Okay.
And the other.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Kaloko. Okay, I think say we don't lose you, but many thanks for your contribution.
For say about the $500 we parents will save. It depends, because you get some schools them we depend on our school charges and this.
Okay, Mr. Kaloko, we appreciate you call and we need for move on with the program. And I hope say they do well in Gambia. Okay, greetings to the Sierra Leonean community in Gambia. Goodbye.
Okay, then thank you very much. We don't get one caller first, but the line is open. We'll for open the line in plenty, but we'll get we resident guests here. In terms of the average, salon person they save $500. Like I say no more people they tell me say they don't even make the annual income not even pass 2-3 million. So let alone them being saving $500. But I would just imagine if you get 2-3 picking, does that mean you they save $1,500? Does that also the president mean say if you get 4 picking? That means you don't save $2,000. Mr. Cashbox, you probably, sometimes maybe, although we sabi count 1, 2, but maybe sometimes we don't understand something. Maybe, please elucidate or explain to me by waiting the president is trying to say.
Good. Superman and Prince Chroma, nice for getting me back now, actually. Always a pleasure. The president, I think we be the tour we local station them, maybe the tell we say, the former government being kind of like put me for national and international disgrace. You see, because in go Japan, the last government don't be paid their hotel fee. They don't be allowed to go inside and pay a hotel fee first. He said then it go Russia, then nearly dream we ambassador on a door. He said because we reputation was kind of like in the gutters. Prince Chroma, you make a point, where you try to say right in the in an international audience. This president, they make sure. I want to spend 5 minutes. I don't want to steal on a show at all. I want to spend 5 minutes, and then Prince Chroma and Superman, Una go kind of like do the balance. But let me just break this down. In the budget, we budget for education. It's about 1.7 trillion every year. 1.7 trillion. This Superman, the point where you make say people are not even they work like 6 million a year, not to say they save them. I kind of like understand that, because let me forget about that point there, because it's possible to say some family then they, even though when they work they go big for able to get for we country for the last 3 years on average. Now, you know, the president say, according to his speech where he give because there are two speeches he give. One where he do the SDG conference, the Sustainable Development Goals, where the virtually do one where he talk say about the $500. Then the other one now where they go the UN General Assembly where he go there in person where he talk say 800,000 additional picking them and the benefit from the free education. 800,000 additional. I want to make we take note of this, and maybe I will left on the debates now. So 800,000 picking them. So if you do 800,000 picking them times, and when they talk say the $500, now family that they save, we have to understand one thing. When he say that they save $500 per picking, it basically they try for say the Combrade they pay them, now in the pay them now, so that the government they pay them. We get to make that clear. So if 800,000 additional picking them, according to his statement yesterday or day before yesterday at the UN General Assembly, it said 800,000 additional picking them. Now let me do simple math. 800,000 times $500, that is $400 million. 400 million times the exchange rate, where let me say that 10,000. That is 4 trillion leons. And we budget for education in our country, it is 1.7 trillion. Just the 800,000 picking them where it just add additional. It even don't go over the total budget we will get for the education. Does that make sense that anybody eat? Now, let me go back. If you remember when they interview on the BBC, it tell we say that 2 million picking them the day the education system. So if 2 million picking them, they don't tell we now say 800,000 additional local inside it. So Superman, it is Superman and Prince Coma, it is 2.8 million picking them. They benefit from the free education. Now 2.8 million picking them times $500 per picking, that is they give we $1.4 billion. If you do $1.4 billion times we exchange rate, now 14 trillion leons. The one whole country, where they make the kind of money they do for a year. We total revenue what they collect for now we country for a year. It's about 5 trillion. Now, waiting this president, they tell we the total budget for education where in the spend is 14 trillion. You know, Prince Roma and Supermed, I want left this side, make Una be the judge and make the panel and be the judge and make they analyze it. That's all I want to say. If you they tell we say that 2.8 million picking and they will they benefit from this school program, then each picking they save $500. If you do $500 times 2.8, it is $1.4 billion. If you do $1.4 billion times we exchange rate, it is when at 10,000, that is 14 trillion leons. It is way over the total budget, the total revenue where we country they collect. Does that make sense to anybody? I think that is the only analysis where I want to do, and then Prince Coma and Supermed, Una will kind of like be the judge and let the panel, like the viewers, be the judge on that.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much on that crucial contribution, Mr. Salon Cashbox. And we're very grateful that you take your time, but you just don't come analyze them in a way where I believe, say, from Bule they watch we don't get directly from Salon Cashbox. The government says, we say, we own budget for the education 1.7 trillion. Now, if they get 2.8 million students then they say they spend $500 for one, that go to over 14 trillion. When we country in budget per year, now over 5 trillion. Ladies and gentlemen, on that bombshell, we want to tell Cashbox, thank you plenty. And what we go for do back, we will can play the video again because some of you maybe una just join we go feel say people make them up, people say make them make them up, not to say the president say So, Mr. Prince Emil Koma, we will beg you back, let you play the video again from the beginning so that Fambulem
You have the floor, sir. Welcome.
presidency.
General Assembly, Mr. Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank the Secretary General for convening this second SDG moment to highlight inspiring SDG actions despite continuing COVID-19 pandemic. The unprecedented challenges of COVID-19 have further exposed nations to heightened vulnerabilities and to rethink delivery on SDGs. Mr. Secretary General, Sierra Leone's medium-term National Development Plan is our nationally owned roadmap for building a society that is cohesive, secure, and just. It is aligned with the African Union Agenda 2063 and the global SDGs. It prioritizes human capital development, and we have identified SDG 4, quality education, and SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions, as our accelerator goals. Those goals remain pivotal to the transformation of our country, and my government remains fully committed to their implementation. Our commitment to deliver on SDG 4 is demonstrated in the increased budgetary allocations to education, free and inclusive access to quality education in line with our policy on radical inclusion, policy reforms, and infrastructure and other developments to support education. In spite of COVID-19, school enrollments have increased. There are higher student success and comprehensive safety indicators. Families are saving in excess of $500 a year per student, and completion and retention rates are also up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Prince.
On SDG 16, my government is operationalizing the...
We don't hear the president say stuff like that talk. We know say people they go on social media say not to president talk, na lie and lie panam, na people make them up, but we also be President Bio in voice. We don't see the video. This study first na two statements I go give. This study statements we go give at the SDG what's it called forum. INSESF highlights SDG number 4, quality education. He said it is save the average Sierra Leonean, we get one picking at school, $500 United States dollars. And again, this has been like a pattern. What we don't see with this administration, then tell everybody Lunge Bridge, say within a year or two, we'll see a Pabila. Tell you no see nothing. When I remember about that bakery, when they said they don't go turn sword, now Wellington, we're going to employ 5,000 people. 30, they will not see nothing. When I remember when they say we say they go create 1 million job within the first 1-2 years. 30 days, nothing will not see. The promises, plenty are not able to highlight them online. But the latest one, for let the president go to an international organization like that one day, go tell the people and say, it is save the average Sierra Leone person, we get one picking at school, $500 United States dollar, where the brothers are don't cash box, don't highlight for we say we get 2.8 million students them. If now $50 per one, the total budget for that will be over 14 trillion salon money. When we budget per year, it's less than 6 trillion. Ladies and gentlemen, we in this platform here, so Mr. Prince Emil Kroma, I will let you look at the essence, the importance of this particular statement, where the president don't make in relation to this particular administration, the track record in terms of the territory name, where we're not going to say they lie about, in order line with the truth.
Yeah, many thanks, Supermed and Alia on. Many thanks to the brother Cashbox. You may not like him, you may loathe him, but then you need for listen to waiting EDC and try for full time on waiting EDC, not so because you know like probably because it is the actual thing. And I say earlier at the opening of my statement at the program, which is it's about doing the maths. There is no way, Mr. Kamara, that you can get away with this when people know how to do the maths. People know how to check the 1 + 1, then 2 + 2 for just simplify them. And this is what the brother just broke down just now. And for continue on that trend day, before they come to the question where you ask, we were told something really fundamentally wrong some side. Either we are taken for granted and we are just supposed to be fools and we can be told anything and we can, you know, yeah, we all will just get along, or because there is one section of we society, they talk about the Sierra Leonean society, in which a kind of binary, if you like, for and against. So when the president says something, like this one way say so, even though some of us got issues with them and they will try to make the sense out of them, you get the others will just buy along with them. And then they try to argue or make an argument based on breaking down the figures so that you go understand. One thing where we know is 22% of we budget was allocated by this government to education. 22% of we budget, which is a significant chunk of the budget, if 100%, and you get so many other areas then in government where you get for allocate money to. But of course, that shows the kind of priority and significance where the president attached to education. But somewhere something is just not right, because the figures where Cash Boss broke down just now, this is what you have to figure out in all of this, Mr. Kamara. So a camp and the budget, because it's not a magic, almost now you budget. So 22% of that budget there has been allocated towards one sector of government. So if you broke down the budget and see how much now we budget and how much 22% amount to, you actually find out that something is really fundamentally not right. There is something really, really wrong. Either we have been deliberately misled and this is unacceptable. The education sector, they struggle. If you buy like old machine, you know, where they go put even more load pant up. So therefore, it is struggle for move forward. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with this if we can be informed about the truth of them, that you get 2 million people picking the way you earlier tell us saying that they inside the educational system. And on top of that, you don't add another 800,000. That's close to 1 million more we talk about. So outside that money they come out, where you they fund them picking and day. And remember, it's 22% allocated. So we need for Yeri more. We need for the ask more. We need for demand more of the government. Outside that money they come out now for fund this extra 800,000 when I don't add pantap. We bump the money to a couple of trillion loans. I think about 14 trillion cash box broke down. Outside that money they come out. Did you want to appeal, you know, to the people, international organization, them for more money, and in the process you they mislead them and put the country in bad book? And cannot we, the Sierra Leoneans, them, you know, be critical of this president and this particular policy towards education without us being labeled as anti-education people? Them, you are an academic. They teach now an institution of higher learning now England. So you value education and know what education means. So do I. And so we want the same thing for we people, and the same education we'll be get, and even more. But it comes at a cost, and it comes with fair play. The president is the fountain of honor. Now I'll go back to the question where you ask, because all of these things are kind of interlinked, Mr. Mohammed. It's one of sincerity, it's one of morality, it's one of ethic, it's one of principle. And because of what we don't see over a period of time, it seems like there is a lack of sincerity on the part of government. It seems that there's a lack of morality on the part of government, because you can fault me for saying that, but I can cite instances where you don't cite already. Then tell me about the airport. 2 years, 3 years on, now we see that they dredge the better late than never though, but now we see that. So if we've been complaining, then why shouldn't we complain? And away from that, ministers, they don't come out and don't give you a timeline and a date as to when them project they are going to commence. And you know, commence. And not within a short period of time, it took a long period. And what you know about projects is fine-tuned, it's fine line, it's timetable. In this case, every project has been delayed and delayed and delayed. And it's like, why? President go turn sword. Traditionally, what you will know about turning sword, where president turns sword, there is so much significance attached to it that a few weeks, a few months, after that process day, that building day or that project day, they commence. You're not going to go take 2 years. Where the fence where you build, where the president go turn a ball, if you don't begin grow grass. It doesn't work that way. Because why? Everything has been fine-lined, fine-tuned. The budget has been approved. Project manager, then everything is set. And they give you a date, say we'll start soon. And on that basis, the president, they go to an about dirty, because they go give the place the blessing. But time and again, we see quite the opposite. And another thing, Supermed, is something this administration under President Bio, they really need for own up. You cannot be accusing the honest by Koroma government for your economic failure them. Because this is what they've been using as an excuse for quite a long time. In government, I know say 1 year, 2 year, now you own them. Yes, your predecessor messed up, he spoiled the economy and etc. But your predecessor, and I make them call them predecessor, they're gone. Now you own them. You're not going to celebrate then lead the victory then where you get, then you want all the accolades. Then when things go wrong, and then you mention 11 years back or 4 years back, it doesn't work that way. The need for wake up and the supporters as well need for wake up, because in order to do we any good where you want to take victory for the success them. And then when things go bad, 4 years of your administration or almost 4 years of your administration, you pointing finger at your predecessor when things go bad. That also need for stop. So, Fambulem, as we listen, we don't hear waiting the presidency on live tape. Superman, it's over to you.
Okay, thank you very much again, Mr. Prince Emikoma. And the way I do approach is you don't highlight so many other things where they're all interlinked. And it's very important. We all treasure education. Like when you say we all know education with the work, that they with the work, I mean, that's with the glad for education prosper in our country. But again, we have to ask the critical questions to the administration, to people who they govern with. If the president say go now a summit like that, they go talk, say, it is save the average one Sierra Leonean for one picking $500 because of the free education. When the government says we say, then they estimate, say, even if you pick up a school fee, you know, buy book, you know, buy uniform, it costs the estimate about $51 by then, when about 300 and something thousand euros by then. And so government then says estimate them. So that's it will cost them for a year for that one picking day. Now, government can't tell we say it costs them basically $500 for one picking. And you know, we need to, it's not about political shenanigans or whatever. Say, oh, I support this party A, party B, party C. Now we write a responsibility as Sierra Leoneans for all them politicians that are accountable. Democracy now we any day. We can no longer sit idly by. They allow few people them. Then they take the country to the drain. We don't suffer a lot as Sierra Leoneans. Most of what today we scatter about now the diaspora. They face so many difficulties them because of the NTSO. Now we get the opportunity with the advent of social media for let we come now we discuss about the NTSO. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be telling us I will give you the number. The number if now you they call outside UK now +44 77 40 107250 or +44 79 513 77568. Now the number that one anyway, if you want to call and give your opinion or give your take in relation to this particular topic, what would they discuss? And I say I'm earlier again, and I see I'm back. There is some sort of a pattern when they emerge from this particular administration, when they promise that they do this. Like when the border talk, you saw when they go lay salt for open bakery, where they employ 5,000 people. So people within that area don't begin to say, oh, this is an opportunity for we. For now we can get job. Una go all the una lady sword and nothing's happened. How you as a government go grab go lay sword when you know say plan no date? Because our government they work, if they want to put table and they make sure say they don't put all the material they need for build the table, get the costs cover for build that table, get the workman and get everything ready. So when president go they say I can't turn sword for can put table now, as you don't do them so the next day or maybe the next week. Or even latest the next month, the work will commence. But that hasn't happened. And not to one, this has been a pattern over and over and over and over. You know, we know at one point, the government and party, the SLPP party, but they even said I shall be not the party office. They say this I should be. Now they can't go up in the Lunge Bridge. Then they can go commence some. Let people then go buy the I should be. And people indeed go to the party office, then buy the I should be. Then buy the I should be 30 days, the Lunge Bridge, nothing. The next 2 years, they say, oh, airport expansion. You know, it's really sad for like this to happen. You know, to we Sierra Leoneans, because really international body and go to watch you and go take we as a laughing stock. Somebody may mention I'm just now. They go say, but wait, so this country say they get over 2.8 million picking. Each one picking cost at least $500. Wait, so but this country and budgets when they get for 1 whole year, now about 5 to 6 trillion. But this budget when talk about this picking alone no more, it's over 14 trillion. Does that make any sense, ladies and gentlemen? People go laugh, we take and say about this. Then people don't know what they talk about. Or did the president misspoke? Why not for don't come back and rectify? People don't be there the we know the president traveled plenty entourage. He advised them, the other people all day. This speech must have been written over and over, looked at thoroughly, and the figure is important. Because the president says, highlights him, he said, SDG 4, quality education. So it's very important figure. For sure, almost they save. But for any president, we say, when you get one Pekin, you save $500 because of the free education. Where some people, they say, not only school fee and some few books, Pekin they get. Well, we know, say, school fee in a salon for 1 whole year, government school fee was around 300,000 or so from the time where they stop for make where the free education come in. So now you're talking about $500. That is close to 6 million leones. Where the government says we say now $51. Then says we now the young manifesto. So now say it go cost us. So the estimate say it go cost them. And then when they provide uniform and they provide books. You know, ladies and gentlemen, that is very, very disheartening. And I encourage you again, follow a call. No, I don't discuss about these things. It's very important. The number again are +44 77 40 10 7250 +44 79 513 77568. Why you give from Muna? Why you give from people, Sierra Leoneans them? Because one man will call me today where he see this flyer. He said, wait, so he said, in your income, now their own household. He not believe, say, he said, markets now over a million or so in one own capital. He not believe, say, it's 1 year, it make past 3 million. So how on earth he go save 5-6 million?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Prince, I mean, this is the point here with the try for zooming out. Because this is very important. Now, the president of the republic was supposed to be the fountain of honor. Now, he goes on an international events when they go jam, big killing for go talk, for go address the conference and go make short a speech. Then now when they see people when they call saying they are so supporters of the president, they come to social media, they challenge, we say, the president no say so, now lie people they lie. We don't play the video. 1 time, 2 time, people don't see him. Now President Bio say they talk. What now you take on that particular side with people when supposed to say that they support the president, for many go come out, even at this one, they try for turn around. I mean, what do people for understand about? I mean, what's that in terms of the law for the country, Sierra Leone and fellow Sierra Leoneans?
I think you asked a critical question towards the end of your position where you just take, which is how people for express this love for country. And that element they seem for really be missing. And the politicians them to a larger degree are responsible for promoting identity politics. And identity politics, sure enough, a day on the rise. And this is not an act of nepotism and despotism, because when governments, wherever in the world, are not delivering, and as something I engaged a few people on some time ago, few days ago, on launching, announcing, and delivery. You find out, say, people don't understand the differences between these things, or they do, but then still they promote, they use that narrative for just keep us divided. Because divide and rule, after all, is some kind of policy we fail governments then they can use. Just keep the people divided. Don't let them, you're clever up. Find some minions, them, use them, especially in the advent of social media. Let them continue for use social media and just peddle fake narratives, lies, cast innuendos, smear, assassinate people. It's almost Orwellian if it's not Orwellian, dystopian if it's not already dystopian, utopian if it's not already utopian. This is exactly that moment they usawide, and it's being perpetrated by government. By government. We can go back again, Mr. Kamal, to many things. Okay, typical example, let me reflect. How government begin, where government change and which was a good thing, everybody celebrated. You and I celebrated. We can belong to a different political class, different political schools, but when government change and democracy is applied, then there is hope. There is reason for people for hope. Because one government pass, another one come. There is stability. But then we continue to see instability on the rise. We see waiting play out in the parliament. People are not elect for let you repeat that. People like can feel say we don't forget about that. But these things don't go away. We see waiting play out in the parliament. We see how a speaker was imposed on the people. We see how the machination take place for doctor a majority, for transpose from a minority to a majority or vis-a-vis majority to minority. We saw what happened. We saw the repeated violence in constituency 110. Me and you hold 1 or 2 programs on that. This is kind of significant because these are the patterns. So it can find for let we reflect on those because people in just feel say we arrive here today, we say we did so because of today. No, we came from somewhere before we come so. So people are losing faith in the system and all they hearing are jargons. We move, go police, then back talk them way people they want to talk real substance. We need to give them credence now per se, but I just talk about the general narrative na social media. This is exactly what they go on. I think somebody they try for caller will see whether this na caller. Hello? Yes, sir. You want to participate in the program? Okay, hang on. You go get for introduce yourself and also you call from, and then you can go with your opinion or your view, sir, please.
I'm Mustafa from Leicester.
Okay, welcome to the program, sir. First time, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I listen to the program all the time, but I hardly call.
Okay, many thanks, sir, for listening.
Yes. The thing is that I just want to talk about one thing there. Because most of the time, Sierra Leoneans, the intellectuals or not, I don't think that they do research. I'm sorry to say that.
Yeah.
The why I say so is everybody talk about this 22% on education. That is wrong.
Okay.
Why? Why is that?
Why is that?
Because we already know, say, that they spend 55% on salaries, more than 20% on debt financing. That means, say, you don't go 75%.
Okay.
So what do they remain? 25%. What they don't do? They don't skillfully separate expenditure into parts, into categories.
Okay.
The debt financing and the income, the salaries, them where most of the money they go, then put on one side.
Okay.
So now the remaining the 25%, now then they talk about 21% or 22%, which is fallacious. This thing is very, very painful to some of us because all the unions,
okay,
when we get paid in the move, they always swallow this thing. It's not correct. When Nigeria go tell they say when they come for these education summits, when Nigeria say they spend 7%, then they laugh Nigeria. That is correct because when they say expenditure, when they say budget, now expenditure and income.
Okay.
And you only get one part of it when they say expenditure. So that 7%, they likely don't look at the 7% when they allocate to education. Not to say, if they go say, okay, you want who they spend for education, fisheries, transport, and everything. That's more money when they put for those things. They say, okay, 21% of them. Now, when they talk about the budget, that is not correct.
So,
the budget.
So, Mr. Mustafa, yeah, go on. I think that the question now I will ask you, waiting at the budget because I'm getting a bit confused, sir.
Now, income and expenditure, now they call budget at a particular time.
Okay, Mr. Mustafa, I'll pause you there because we'll not get all night. We thank you very much because this now critical thinking. Now you just bring we can to. So let me agree. Of course, that's just a fact. Budget is equal to income and expenditure. If it not come in, it's simple. This is simple logic. If it not come in, it can't go out. So government not a profit making body, but can find way for make money through taxation and what have you, where they put back into society. So it's incoming and outgoing. Would that be correct, sir?
Yes.
So thank you very much. So now that income day, where they can non project as to waiting and go get for the year, that's where they create.
So you will get this, get it. That 21% is not correct because that 21% that is small part of the money we don't put for, they wouldn't spend on services. Not all the expenditure. When you say expenditure for B1.
So waiting else, Mr. Mustafa? I think I follow you, sir, but I'm getting a bit lost. So the 21% now for services, but not to all that one day. So
repeating it.
Yeah.
What they don't do, they don't take away salaries and debt services. They don't remove only 75% of your budget.
Okay.
When I say the expenditure, now 75% that, so they don't take the 25% will remain. We they use for services. Let me say now, for instance, education, transport, sports, all of those things. Now that 25% will don't remain. Inside that 25%, now you spend 21% for education, which is fallacious. This is not correct. I've been following this thing painfully now because I know the call easily. All the platforms of the world, 21%, 22%. That is not correct. We cannot get that money there.
And again, when you say we not get that money there, which money were you they talk about? And let me say something again. Like I say, Mr. Mustafa, this is not a critical thing you they talk. But again, we can try for figure them out. So let me just repeat this, and I stand to be corrected. The budget is made up of 100%, not more than. Expenditure, incoming, 75% we see then they spend. The idea is government appropriate a budget to a particular sector every financial year, sir. Whether not the health sector, whether not the this. So if they give you 25%, then now you budget that day for let you operate on. Whatever you do with them, outgoing and incoming, 75% for service, that 75% day. In other words, they come out inside that 22% day. If you put 75% day, it left 25%, sir. So the idea is there is a budget which is 22% of the budget, the government budget.
No.
Is that correct?
No, that is not. That, I understand your point, but we left for swallow this.
No, we need to swallow. Now, make we ask, Mr. Yes, sir.
The 22% for room B, the 20% for room B, 20%, 22% of the expenditure. That's it for room B. 22% of the total expenditure. That means it's not 22% of the budget. Because if you say 22% of the budget, that means it will remain with about 78%.
Yeah.
Will remain. So that means if 55% they go on salaries, 20% they go on debt servicing. That means that 3% don't remain for the whole country.
Okay.
That means health now, transportation.
Exactly.
Okay. Mr. Prince, let me just buttress in. I don't understand what Mr. Mustafa is saying now.
Yep.
Mr. Mustafa is saying it's impossible if 25% don't left. If you say go put 22%, that means that the 3% for they do with sports, now for do other plenty things. So in your own judgment, if he say this is just a made up figure for just show the international community or for show we Sierra Leoneans and say government spends so much money per education, where actually that money they say safe no day. Is that so, Mr. Mustafa?
Yes, exactly. You get my point. This is exactly what I'm trying to say. Me, I want try now for Leona from now on your platform. Leona try this year for spread them to other people. Let them get this thing. Let for talk say 22% is spent on education.
Okay, Mr. Mustafa, we what we can do, we take them for them world. And what we will do now, subsequently going forward, we will investigate.
Continue to go around the world. Continue to go around the world say we spend 22% on education, which is not correct. Now we will stop them first.
Okay, Mr. Mustafa, thank you. What we go do? We go continue now for investigate for find out all of these things in detail. Subsequently, we will able to come back and make sure say.
Just add back. They say health now 10%. Agriculture, now 8%. Check the move. You get me?
Yes, 10 and 8%, sir. Yeah.
Yes. Agriculture, now 8%. Social service, they say now 5%. Check them. There's a percentage now 100 now.
Yes, but now, but no, Mr. Mustafa, I think say you miss out something, sir. Yes, percentage is 100. But now I say earlier on, the government has got 100% budget. Now inside that 100% budget, they will get. Now Mr. Mustafa, 1 minute, sir. Now inside that 100% budget, they will get. Now it broke down for allocate as per priority to then different sectors of government. So you find out, say, the money small for health, very, very small. But because this government in particularly emphasis on education, it allocates 22% and the 22% self not even enough. And this is where
Mr. Prince Emikoma, according to Mr. Mustafa, he's saying the numbers does not add up because they don't spend per wages and per debt services about 70% on go already. So the money don't left 30%. Then if you don't pull 10%, you don't pull health, then you don't left 20. If you pull 5%, you don't left 15. So who said that 22% come out when that 15% on left?
I think Mr. Prince, if you listen to you, the co-host, because if you don't get to this point, say, all them, imagine how many ministers, now 33 ministers to get to, 33 ministers to get. All of them, they get either 1% or 2% or 5%, then they get. So if you don't cost the 100% of the expenditure, we don't already cost the 100%. We side the other money and therefore come out. So we have to question this 22%. That is mean a new contribution. Not about what it goes.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mustafa.
Anyway, Mr. Mustafa, before I let you go, waiting at your background, sir, if you don't mind me asking.
No, I study economics from Sierra Leone, sir.
And then you sit down quietly. Like, anyway, it's nice having you. Hopefully one day we'll get you on the program so we'll talk at length about this because I'm still baffled, okay. And they try for a few out. Since me co-host get you clearly, I go discuss with them, so maybe you go enlighten me a bit.
Okay, man.
Many thanks, sir, for your contribution. Yeah.
No worries, brother.
You're welcome. Okay. So like I've been saying, with what Mr. Mustafa explained, so I'm still lost because
Mr. Brother Prince, let me just buttress into I'm waiting the time for say. And again one point, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Because of credibility no day, honesty no day. Again, if this government letter we say one picking they save $500 for each average family in a salon, we will not be surprised if they are telling us so many other things that might not be true. Because what Mr. Mustafa was saying is that if you get 100 pounds, you say 50 pounds I'm going to use for paying people that work for me. For the 100 pounds. Then the 20 pounds I'll be all debts there. Now I'm going to use for pay the debt. It don't left 30 pounds. But you say, well, I get for put 10 pounds there for go pay me medical insurance for me world body one. It don't left 20 pounds. They say, well, I put 5 pounds there for welfare. Then people for the other people them. It don't left 15 pounds. Then I get for put 1 pound there for the other person and call them. So the money it don't left less than 5 pounds. How come say go say, well, I go pull 22 pounds back? That is what Mr. Mustafa is trying to say is, even the budget when they tell we say 22% they go into education, when you don't check the numbers then, when the government say then they spend, it not be true. And that is very crucial again. But this again come back to credibility, to ethics, so people them way trustworthy. Because therefore, we as Sierra Leoneans for rely on the government for tell we the truth, for tell we and tell we something, we take a hook, line, and sinker because we know say this na government. Press the way they talk, like in the fountain of honor. So anything they talk for take and say, well, this is not true. Although they accuse anybody say that they lie, but if government now they can't say we say each one picking, it cost $500 for go school. When they be don't tell we say each one picking, even if they buy uniform, they buy book for them, now $51. So which one is which? So this, you will see why I make plenty Sierra Leoneans go get a worry for belief waiting they give from government. Because they go talk about government 1 minute, when they tell we this, another minute, when they tell we this. Which one are the right one? We need to understand, we need to know what's happen. And this is important. Ladies and gentlemen, look like I don't lost my co-host, but we go continue and try for summarize because this topic is very, very important. And again, if you want call, the line is still open. want to tell Mr. Mustafa, thank you, because incessive don't come from another different perspective now. It don't come up with other something, say what nobody think about. Because when they take the government, when they tell you something, or they take a hook, line, and sinker. But now don't begin question. Because when you give president, say, we say, each family, where you want picking for year. Not for saying I'm 10 picking or 5 for year, for one picking. Then they save you $500. That means if they not be do this free education, if it cost you $500 for that you picking them for go school. Or if it cost you even more than that. Because don't forget, so even this free education, the people get some small book there, and then they pay school fee. But the people, the comrades, they still they buy uniform, buy book, buy some books, then buy bag, buy shoes. And when they be estimated, all they say they be inside by the estimation, they be saying at $51. Now they tell 500 United States dollars. And we don't see where cash box don't can check for we. Say, but if not 2.8 million, the government say they pay $500 for all man. That it don't make sense because it's in 14 trillion. But we want not budget per year now, just over 6 trillion. So it's like you tell me, say, you give me I get 1 million loans. I tell you, say, this 1 million loan. Now me budget this what I get for do all the work I get for Dunaya. But the work I get for Dunaya, it costs, I don't do a more, but it costs 3 million loans. It goes, hey, when I 1 million I give for do all the work. How comes you spend 3 million, you want 1 million no more you get? It makes no sense. I know say plenty of people them on social media, not they kind of share that video they get, or maybe they don't put them. Okay, the video. We don't play them, we don't say, we don't play, we don't say them. We have seen a president Beyonce say they talk. Now two speeches you go make. One day we go make at the General Assembly. This one day we go make at the SGD General Assembly. Where it quotes SDG option 4 when about quality education. Because it talk about also again the peace and security as well. So, but this one intake we now back to waiting will be done here from president. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time, 7 p.m. Salon time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, we get the Honorable Alhaji Ibrahim Kemosi say, when a former flag bearer aspirant for the APC party and a current flag bearer aspirant for the APC party as well. Now, I'm going to forget that the program tomorrow. Tomorrow, I can talk about the just concluded APC National Delegate Conference. So we'll get them tomorrow. We can join we, and I believe say plenty of funa go on here directly from the Honorable himself, Honorable Alhaji Ibrahim Kemosi say. So please, una share that word, una share the message, because we're going to forget them tomorrow at the platform. And I believe say plenty of people want to know what's happen and what's going to happen going forward with the main opposition APC party. And Alhaji Ibrahim Kemosi say, be there among the people we conduct all this process here. So tell the APC party go get the emergency delegate conference. We'll get them tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time, 7 p.m. Salon time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. But ladies and gentlemen, when it's time for conclude, I don't know, Mr. Prince Emil Kuruma, if you don't join me back, but it's time for conclude. We don't read the analysis them from Salon Cashbox. We don't read from Mr. Mustafa we call we don't read from another caller. People are baffled. And people they read a pattern where they see from this current administration, where then they talk to them, where really, we're not going to say they lie, we're not to truth in them. And I don't highlight so many examples them for now, where government don't say we. One time, I remember when the president go up at the Africa Chinese summit, then tell we say I'm gonna get some investor them, where one can invest by the public transport sector in a salon. They say that they come, in fact, they don't get dinner, they back out 200 bus system, so that people transport business in a salon will can be easy. It don't pass 3 years now. 30 they will not see them. 30 days. And when they expect government for can talk something, just like me no more, I can go talk anything no more, where you not get no credibility, because so tell me now ordinary person. So they go say, okay, this man don't get no credibility. But government, not to one person, not to the president no more. It gets in one whole cabinet. And then people they are with the Sierra Leoneans and with the taxpayer them. we they pay them plenty money for men to govern we. So they expect some sort of, you know, credibility, some sort of, you know, honesty and sincerity. When they tell we something, we they expect us say for be true. We know when they tell we something, then later on we can find out say, but what time you tell we see them, and it don't become a pattern. Where see people that we really say, okay, we need to talk about this. We need for bring this conversation to now. We are not the Dell and now media empire, not the orb of the conversation. We need for bring and counsel. We need for talk to now. We need for understanding here. Then we ask them critical questions there. So it not means that because they support SAPP or they support APC or NGC or C4C. No, even if now you bother in governance, we go for asking critical questions for the interest of the country Sierra Leone and people them in the salon. Because like I say, we Sierra Leoneans don't go through a lot. We don't suffer a lot. And this is not the 21st century. I want to say we don't want to suffer anymore. It's about time now we say begin to say yes. You know, now we begin to say God thank you now. But if president, now the republic, now the fountain of honor, they go to a public forum. They tell we say, you know, now $500 one average family they save for the one Pekin. And everybody's confused, everybody's baffled. We'll check the money. The Salon government not get the money safe. So what is happening here? Ladies and gentlemen, like we are saying no more. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time, we got the Honorable Al-Aji Kemo Sise. He get for them at the platform. Yeah, let's get this call. Let's pick this call, ladies and gentlemen, quickly. Yes, go ahead, sir. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me admit you. Yes, let me admit you. Okay, then that's fine. Yes, I've done that. Yes, again, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. My co-host and Mr. Prince Emil Kuma will be lost some quickly, but he don't come back. I don't admit him back. He don't come back. Mr. Prince Emil Kuma with the fed for roundup now. We don't talk about this thing. We don't look up from so many trajectories, so many waiting and call. From even waiting, that will get scholar they can call, we just not tell we. We don't look at from the analysis where cash box. This is the second tell we. So these are very important things where we don't talk already. But for long roundup, I want to let you explain to viewers them and people okay for subsequently watch this program. What's in your overall take? But what I describe as the President Bio 500 United States dollar saga. What's in your overall take for this particular topic here? So going forward.
Many thanks, Superman and Fambul. And sorry, I got lost a bit, but I'm back. So sometimes they ask for distinguish between truth and untruth. I hear you say we know they tell big one, and I saw them train we for say he lie, but we go say you know they talk true. And they ask for distinguish between, and they ask sometimes for distinguish between commitment to do good and not being committed to do good. And sometimes again, inefficiency, being ineffective, especially in administration, can be very, very costly. So let me look at the precedent initiative, them, for example, where you don't outline. I just want briefly touch on this particular one we'll be on tonight, where now this SDG, the presidency education program, and what you go ask question about. So the president, they press all the right buttons in terms of the words, then where they use the buzzwords, the power words, them. Oh, of course, where you go here about the wider society, the gains then where we don't make, they talk about cohesive structure them, and then they talk about justice and fair play and more people, just the kind words then where international donors then go on for Yeri. But then what we really do now the platform is for look at the essence and the substance beneath waiting the president they say and the commitment and the principles and the ethics, behind all of this. And this is what we find one thing bringing me back to we last caller, Mr. Mustafa, where I think say they try for say we for hold the administration them or we leadership them into account, like we then say something instead of taking them hook, line, and sinker. But I believe say they talk to the general public and they try for admonish, we say these are the things then that we need for do. But I suppose say this is what we're doing. Even for this program, we are holding them, here to account. If you bring 22% budget, how did you spend that budget? How you arrive by you $500? This is what we are trying to ask. And this is why we brought people like Border Cash Box. The president left for talk about, the human capital development. Again, like I say, the power words, the buzzwords, the president get them. And then they use them, to some kind of effect. So when you go to this SDG conference them from food and non step them up to something else, we already they see waiting it try for translate to the people there. But when you come home, there's a kind of a disconnect right there. And therefore, the fountain of honor with the ask more of them. We really need more of them. You think we get call? All right, hang on. Maybe we'll get one more contributor. I think I missed the call. It's a foreign call. I'm sure Senna for the program. We missed that. So yes, the president, they use all them what they are. The president, we talk about budget allocation where Mr. Mustafa kind of mentioned, just now. So it's about budget allocation and that's important. Every fiscal year, then get the money, then shape and between the different ministry them. And not all ministry, they get more. I make it always hear arguments them. Education, for example, get very much significance. So, and it depends on waiting at the president in priority, but education always play a very significant role. So the president allocates a large chunk of the budget to that. But then where is health? Where's health? And health very significant. If health left with a mere 10%, and then you look at the statistics and the numbers and you're not doing well, infant mortality don't go up. So that means you need more investment. So that means you need to increase the threshold. Where do you get the money from? And like I say, government not a profit making body. So now out of taxes there, now you get for make sure say it meets the requirements and demands of people, the kind of social contract, especially before they assume kind of power. So infrastructural development is another key word where the president like for use. And I can go on and on and on. So he uses them what they are, but when he come back, here to substance, it's kind of always lacking. And you've already made the case. Many a times, waiting the president and in team can do. Then tell we one thing from one side of the mouth, and then we see different thing from the other side of the mouth. What I want to say for conclude in terms of the question where you ask is the insincerity on the part of we the very Sierra Leonean them. Again, because of identity politics. But this is not going to take the country anywhere. We are so divisive at this time than any other time. Probably, maybe, I can want to say one party, but no, one party, all might be understanding one party. So some people will be upset with the system and what have you, but say this is what you get. But today we don't know what you will get because X they tell Y something different, Y they tell X something different. And in the meantime, people are in the middle, like get caught up in all this, I call and rubbish. Most of it not make sense. You find people and they come out, something not actually right, they want to tell you, say, it right. And I like this $500 business where we talk. Where do we people then get $500 for save every year per household, per student? And I think that you asked the question and it sounds more rhetorical. Whether if you get 3 picking from the beginning, I guess you said something like this. Does that mean that household they save exactly so 1.5 million? I mean, whichever way you turn them inside out, it just does not add up. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. And this is why we in the then and now media empire, they come and bring this critical program to UNA. For let we help for dissect them and understand them to know use them as a cadaver, like the science student, the way they go learn how to deal with the body, way possibly wrong, the different parts there. This is what we try for doing at the then and now. So now for whole leadership to account because it is a civic responsibility. Like I say, with Cashbox, you go on fault him, but how can you fault him on the numbers? It just broken down for you. If you get issues, it shouldn't be personal. It should be about the numbers. Did he get the numbers wrong? But I guess the maths game where he played, he got it quite right. You may not tell we say na so, and Supermed went along with the same thing. You may not tell we say na so. This is the budget available. Supermed, I'm glad just put me light on. You can take them from here, then we can close the program.
Okay, then thank you very much, Brother Prince Emil Kuma. And family, I want to thank you plenty for your own contribution tonight. I mean, this topic has been very, very interesting. And people that say we call, we tell them thank you. Some not able to pick and call. I mean, probably coverage is not very favorable, but we tell them thank you. And what would they do say very important? This now civic rights and responsibility for all. I like the issue there too. Because what do we can't go through a lot. And we can no longer stand idly by and they allow people and they just treat you any kind out, like say we not get no sense at all. We don't know what we do, we don't understand nothing, not at all. It is not, and this identity politics, when the brother talk about this now, I want hit on them small before we round up. It is very important that we know say if you brother or sister Sierra Leone is suffer, one way or the other, that suffering they go must touch you. Not say because my own pocket flop at this minute. So no matter if my brother or sister suffer, because that suffering they go must touch you. So now don't forget about this identity politics. This poster we come out of the same region. Probably we belong to the same tribe, we come out of the same village. How is that going to benefit Sierra Leone? We allow things alone. We allow things say we honest, we all Sierra Leoneans, we are all brothers and sisters. Lord be each brothers and sisters keeper.
And just for add to that, Super.
Yeah,
go on. Sorry, I see you pause now. Go on. Sorry.
Okay, no, on that particular note, I was just want a man from Mulem say tomorrow 8 p.m. I get the former and even current flag bearer aspirant for the APC party, Alhaji Honorable Ibrahim Kemo Sise. It go there with 8 p.m. UK time, 7 p.m. Salon time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So please, stay tuned and pass the message. Join me because we can talk about the just concluded emergency delegate conference where the APC party are all waiting next and waiting happen. I believe say that gentleman they go be in a better position for can tell we in detail. Over to you, Mr. Prince Emil Kuma.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just for continuing on that part, on Sunday we will be having the number 2 man at the Alliance Democratic Party. That's the party of the jailed opposition leader, Mr. Mohamed Kamaremba Mansare. Then we can try for explain to we waiting to go on with in bail condition. The bail has been, a condition somehow that even though a judge don't give a go ahead, say the man can be bailed, for some reason, he's caught up within the technicalities of the bail and still they in jail days after a judge don't say the man can be bailed. What is going on? So they bring in number 2. And not only in number 2, we did in talks with one of the lawyers there, Mr. Conte, lawyer Conte, where we get for bring come as well for can talk them from a legal perspective. Because most times we can talk them from a political and other perspective, but not on the legal side. So the lawyer go hopefully day along with we. That will be on Sunday. On Monday, we get the national coordinator for the C4C. Remember, say the C4C themselves getting their own political wala where they go on regarding membership, Sam Sumana, Emerson Lamina na parliament, and so much more. There is acrimony inside the family, and we try to learn feud in the family. Some of you don't see the flyer already. So Mr. Nyama go day on the platform on Monday. We will not forget for tuning and shape the good work. And just for end this program, there is no way a responsible platform like this goes sit down and allow propagandists them for continue for spread and propaganda. We will always come against that with fair and objective analysis, just like we do here tonight. You know, where the president they talk in real-time video, and then you deny say no to him. Supermed, you can remember Pademba Road, for example, Madam Sawane come and talk. Tiwe talk clearly. Next day, a revert say na doctor then doctor in voice. I mean, this is unbelievable, and this has been ongoing, but all of these are documented for reference's sake. I don't know other people and get different intention with that, but we now for references, so we can always draw on the issue they are. For say, this is why we are saying this, because we will not get a precedent prior to the now. So there's no way we're going to sit down and allow this to happen. So this 500 year, again, we don't know if the president misspoke, or if the president misspoke, I mean, there's been ample time, and all the sources the way we check, there is not been a withdrawal of this statement at all, which means that the statement stands. That means the president in the right for him, waiting the right for him, he read, and he approve of him, because nobody knows say, well, not true. So that means to them, it is true. To us, there are question marks about this. One end this program is Superman not get anything for say. One final time, we will play the video, which is about 2 minutes and 8 seconds, I believe, the whole length of it. And let una believe say Sierra Leonean people are making the judgment themselves. The 2 people them or 4 people them we feel say they can make noise more than 5 million, 6 million people, you get for understand say you are on the wrong path of history. Because this can only survive for a short period of time. Your propaganda then can only survive for a short period of time. It's like the Auditor General pulling report. Una try for twist the report and try for tell we something else as if we never read. So una see how una they shoot the president on your foot while they try for promote education. Una they try for make Sierra Leonean people appear as if they're dumb by feeding them kind of lies. Super, you see the contradictions right there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't stand at all.
Not at all. There's no leg for it, brother. Yeah. Not as long as we get breath now we lungs and we get a platform also we go able for speak truth to power. We'll never stop on this. If you don't get any last word, if you get last word, the floor is yours. I'm done. I'll just play the video.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to say, family, and thank you plenty for all comments and constant support to the conversation. Now that's some family. Thank you very much. God bless you all. God bless we country Sierra Leone. Now watch the video again one last time before anybody will get out. Say that President Bio, I'm live. You gonna see that President Bio this and I need to talk. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Prince.
Give me access. Give me host access.
Okay, I'll do that now.
Yeah, Fambul, I mean, this is not the conversation. The conversation is ongoing. Yeah. So there's so much for talk about. Yes, that's fine now, Super. Many thanks. So there's many things for talk about, and the conversation goes on. But for now, we don't come to the end of this thing, but una listen to this again, live one, Jara one. Una when a lip reader them, una read the president in lip, una we sabi the president in voice, una we be know the occasion, SDG, the environment, who's even speak. Here we are. The tape we say doesn't lie.
You have the floor, sir. Welcome.
General Assembly, Mr. Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank the Secretary General for convening this second SDG moment to highlight inspiring SDG actions despite continuing COVID-19 pandemic. The unprecedented challenges of COVID-19 have further exposed nations to heightened vulnerabilities and to rethink delivery on SDGs. Mr. Secretary General, Sierra Leone's Medium-Term National Development Plan is our nationally owned roadmap for building a society that is cohesive, secure, and just. It is aligned with the African Union Agenda 2063 and the global SDGs. It prioritizes human capital development, and we have identified SDG 4, quality education, and SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions, as our accelerator goals. Those goals remain pivotal to the transformation of our country, and my government remains fully committed to their implementation. Our commitment to deliver on SDG 4 is demonstrated in the increased budgetary allocations to education, free and inclusive access to quality education in line with our policy on radical inclusion, policy reforms, and infrastructure and other developments to support education. In spite of COVID-19, school enrollments have increased. There are higher student success and comprehensive safety indicators. Families are saving in excess of $500 a year per student, and completion and retention rates are also up. On SDG 16, my government is operationalizing the Independent Commission for Peace and national cohesion. There is expanded nationwide access to justice, and the Legal Board Aid continues to provide free legal representation to unserved Sierra Leoneans with a 93% increase in service rate from 2018. Government is working with civil society actors. We have repealed the seditious libel laws and abolished the death penalty. In spite of COVID-19 challenges, my government will continue its work on strengthening governance, deepening the decentralization, and streamlining domestic resource mobilization through our integrated national finance framework. We are using science, technology, and innovation to simplify governance, financial management, and procurement systems. Mr. Secretary General, let me conclude by reiterating the call for partnerships and cooperation to deliver on SDGs in order to achieve the future we want and to ensure that no one is left behind. Thank you.
We thank the President of Sierra.
Okay, Fambulem. So this effectively we come to the end of tonight's program, and courtesy of SLBC, Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, in terms of the video we play. And not forget for tuning tomorrow is going to be another heavy one. The hub of the conversation is hot at the moment, and we're not running out of news anytime soon. So tomorrow, same channel, not touch him, just left and right there. Honorable Alhaji Kemosi say, love him again or loathe him, get all the controversies around him. In fact, this is what happens around political leaders. That's why I can find for let you join the conversation. And he will be in the hot seat as Supermed. They can grill him on recent happenings in the country, both the convention, APC itself going forward, other players, them state actors, the government, and there's many. I mean, you've seen it all before, so this is not new. And don't forget for tuning in on Sunday and Monday. So, Supermed, many thanks for hosting me here tonight, and it's over to you, and I'm out.
Okay, then thank you very much, family. Thank you plenty. Good night. God bless now.